What hormones are involved in birth? And more importantly, how can you work with them to make sure that you have a satisfying and empowering birth? Hi, I'm Anna. I'm a registered nurse, a childbirth educator, a lactation counselor, and a birth doula supporting expats in the Eindhoven region. So there are 4 major hormones: oxytocin, beta-endorphins, prolactin, and catecholamines. You've probably heard of oxytocin. It's the one that's responsible for making the uterus contract during labor. But it's also known as the love hormone. It's released after giving hugs, snuggling, or having sex. It's a warm, fuzzy feeling that we're all familiar with. It's also really important in the letdown reflex in breastfeeding. Next, we have the beta-endorphins. These are the natural pain relievers of our body. They are released during exercise and also in response to pain. And they can bring on a dreamlike state during labor, also known as laborland. Prolactin is also known as the mothering hormone, and it's important in breast milk production. But it's also really important in pacing labor. Oxytocin and beta-endorphins trigger prolactin release, which in turn, prolactin stimulates oxytocin to be released. It's this cool feedback loop that happens right before labor begins. As labor progresses, prolactin levels decrease to ensure that labor progresses at a manageable pace. Finally, we have catecholamines, or the stress hormones. They might seem counterproductive because they inhibit oxytocin and prolactin release, which causes a slowdown in labor, but they're actually really important. They give you a burst of energy right before you begin pushing, and then they also help make sure that the baby feels really awake and alert in order to take its first breath after birth. During pregnancy, catecholamines are also responsible for helping the baby's lungs develop. Now that we know a bit more about the hormones of birth, how do we work with them to ensure that you have the best labor and birth for you? Let your labor begin on its own. Trust your body's timing. Make sure you do skin-to-skin contact with your baby right after it's born. That gets the oxytocin flowing, which helps with the prolactin, which then makes breastfeeding a lot easier. Hire a doula. Having continuous support during your labor helps you feel relaxed and helps reduce those catecholamines. Choose a healthcare provider that you feel confident with. A trusting relationship makes a big difference. Avoid using artificial oxytocin to start or speed up labor. Natural oxytocin not only works on the uterus to cause contractions, but it also works on the brain to help you feel calm. Artificial oxytocin only works on the uterus, so contractions can feel way more intense. Give birth where you feel safe and undisturbed. This helps reduce your stress hormones and keeps labor progressing. Consider skipping or delaying the epidural. Epidurals can reduce oxytocin and beta-endorphins during labor and prolactin levels after giving birth, which can make breastfeeding a little more challenging. Exercise during pregnancy. This boosts your beta-endorphins. And research shows that people who exercise during pregnancy have shorter and less painful labors. Practice relaxation techniques. This keeps the catecholamines in check. So, how will you work with your hormones to ensure that you have the most satisfying and empowering birth? Share your ideas below. If you already gave birth, how did you work with your hormones? Share your experience in the comments below. Do you feel ready to empower your birth and enter parenthood with confidence? Then reach out for a free consultation today. Thanks so much for watching.